Mobile telephone users in America have been left stunned and confused that many text messages which were sent on Valentine's Day this year only arrived this morning. The mobile operator concerned has stated a maintenance error caused the problem. The delayed messages have brought joy as well as some embarrassment, as some couples have split up already. Let's hope not too many proposals went unanswered. Your weather today is not nice, as wet and cold weather is still with us, so put on your sweaters and bop to the rich sounds on today's episode of The Bridge, on LJTV.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Bridge. This is episode 28 of The Bridge, and I'm your host, LJ, as per usual. So what have we got in store? Well, we return to the album in focus. There's a riot going on. We'll tell you more about that Sly and the Family Stone album and some of its history, and hear another song from it. We'll also be sharing with you some brand new music. I'm a little bit unsure of myself at the beginning of today's show because I'm not sure if we're running live on the Twitch feed, which is where I'm pointing towards, is the thing that I normally check it on. You can't see it, but I'm pointing that out. So that's currently one of the issues that I'm trying to wrap my brain around. I'm going to try and get that sorted out. Hopefully we don't need to do another reset of today's stream. Already I restarted straight away, so hopefully yeah, it's just a bug I've got with that monitoring device and we won't have to worry about it. But bear with me, we'll find out in due course. But more brand new music to be sharing with you for this week. We'll be tweeting out about it during the show, at least this week. At this show, I'm determined to do so. Had quite a lot of technical issues on Wednesday's show, so this week's show has been bumped further than I would have wanted. This should be a live at 5 start, my new schedule, but we're not quite there for that for this week, unfortunately. We will get there in due course. We've got some new elements to the show. We'll get there. That's what I'm going to try. That's what I should have called today's show. We'll get there. Anyway, we're going to start off with Curtis Mayfield, as the music and music genre has been dictated by the album in focus. So we're going to hear a lot of funk, soul. That's the kind of music you can expect on today's show. I can also see the chat box today, so I can see your lovely names in chat as well. I'm going to try and communicate with you as the show goes along. But Superfly starts off today's show.
Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Hard to understand, but a hell of a man. This cat of the slum had a mind, wasn't dumb. But a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. The game he plays for keys. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what he trying to do, y'all. Taking all that he can take. Gambling with the odds of fate, trying to get over. Trying to get over. Trying to get over. Trying to get over. Ooh, Superfly. The aim of his role was to move a lot of blow. Ask him his dream, what does it mean? He wouldn't know. Can't be like the rest, it's the most he'll confess. But the time's running out and there's no happiness. Ooh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune by and by. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Superfly.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. So that is Curtis Mayfield with Superfly, taken from the movie entitled Superfly as well. But we're going to take a pause. I'm going to pause and reset the stream again. I've already done it once. Hopefully it will kick through this time. I stream via Restream, which means I'm on many different platforms. So I am live via Mixer, which is my primary streaming platform. My favourite platform. On a totem pole, it's right there at the top. But underneath that would be Twitch, followed by the foundations of YouTube as well. So I'm not even sure if I'm running on YouTube live, but secondary channel, I want to make sure that's running live. So we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to restart the stream once again, and hopefully we'll come back with both those channels definitely up and running, and straight into the charts of yesteryear. So let's cross our fingers, and I'll be back with you in a moment. So, I'm back, hopefully. I have no idea. I'm just opening up my devices to check out said platforms. Fingers crossed. I do hope I'm with you. Hopefully you can hear my voice. We will be moving back to the charts of yesteryear for our second song of today's show. I know I can say second song even though it looks like I've just started. So, hopefully this channel is back up there. It doesn't look like it. I think there might be an issue with my Twitch channel that I can't do anything about. So we might just hope. Yeah, I'm back up live on Mixer with you lovely people on Mixer, my preferred streaming channel at least anyway. Or at least I want to wait until I see the visuals coming through. And that's what we're waiting for before I move on to the next track. Come on, just like load and stuff. I know I'm asking a lot of my internet now, but there we go. There we are, and there's a loud beep I can hear. So that is an unintentional beep. Let's see if we can do something about that. That could be the positive thing we do to the show. There we are, and there's a loud beep. There's my voice. So that is an unintentional. Nobody likes to hear their own voice, do they? Alright, bear with me. I'm just down here. Well, I am still here. I know it just looks really weird. Just sort of ducked down. I apologise. I'm trying to do positive steps forwards when I'm reaching issues and problems. So I'm hoping to eradicate that slight pitch that we've got there. But the best way to ignore it is to put on some music. And we're going to move back to the charts of yesteryear. Of this very week of 1974 saw the Pointer Sisters enter into the charts with a very Friday song indeed. Whilst we watch the trailer for this week's Cinema Scope, we'll be hearing the new release of this week of 1974 that was brand new from the Pointer Sisters in at number... 1984. 1984, not 1974. 1984 in at number 28. No wonder I couldn't see it on the list. Here is I'm So Excited.
Tonight's the night we're gonna make it happen. Tonight we'll put all other things aside.
So this is brand new into this week's chart of 1984 for the Pointer Sisters, and we're also going to watch a trailer for the new release for the CinemaScope. So I just want to point out, I should have had a Pointer Sisters, every pun intended, although that one wasn't. I wanted to point that one out. There we are. So that is this week's album cover, this week's magazine cover, as this is a web magazine show kind of vibe that we've got going on. It's a very difficult show to describe, so come on over, watch it, find out all about it. That's the best way. The best way, if you want to tell someone about it, then just sort of pull a weird face and say you really have to see it. That's the best description I can offer. So that is the magazine cover that I've tweeted out online to advertise the show. I design and produce that each and every week for the Wednesday, one for the Wednesday show and one for the Friday show, and on there you'll find out all the information about what's happening on the show. Also, you'll see the brand new music and artists down the side there. That also gives you an idea of what to expect. If you follow via the Twitter feed, then you will find out a lot more information ahead of the time and during the show as well. So that's the most up-to-date social platform from me. I'm also trying to work a little bit more towards Discord. Fingers crossed we'll get there. So, we're still listening to I'm So Excited, and I'm going to hit play on the new movie for this week's cinema, and yeah, we'll get started. Okay, another slight change of plan as well. I'm going to do the movie description beforehand, then we're going to hit play, and then we're also going to hear a song from Libby Safri during the visuals for this new movie, which is entitled The Good Liar. It is starring Helen Mirren. I can't even say her name. That's not a good start. It is starring Helen Mirren as well as Gandalf. Sorry, Ian McKellen. This is age rated at 15, and it is all about a veteran con artist or con man who targets an elderly woman, the elderly woman being Helen Mirren, I'm assuming, although I'm sure she would not appreciate being described in such derogatory terms. She is an older woman. Anyway, we're going to watch the trailer whilst we enjoy the sound and music from Libby Safri in just a moment. If you want to find out more information about this movie and hear the trailer, then you'll have to make your way to the Twitter feed. The one I was just mentioning mere moments ago. Maybe there is still something available in the chat box that you can see. So, with that in mind, this is what I should be playing in the background when we're talking about movies. We're going to come back with some brand new music in just a moment. If I hit trailer there and I go to this screen here, we should see the visuals. I'm off. Hi, my name is. This is where you got the sample from. Just thought I'd point that out. There's plenty left on the song. I'm not going to talk over it.
Just a lonely song, slowly dying. I was smiling hard, but I was lying. Then you sailed along with your sweet dream. When you stole my heart, I was living. Morning come, sun don't shine. I'll get by without you. I was lost, but now I'm found. Turning round, it was you. Morning come, sun don't shine. I'll get by without you. I was lost, but now I'm found. Turning round, it was you.
Such an amazing artist as well. This is Libby Safari, we're currently listening to right now. I think that's the name of the song. Anyway, we're moving on to the rest of the show. We've got lots of funk, soul coming up on today's show, and we have just been watching the trailer for this new release over here. So yes, I like to move the songs around the features ever so slightly, and I decided to change up what song I was going to play with the movie. Just at the very last second there, Libby Safari was on the set list, and it just seemed like the right one to go with. What else have we got in store? We're going to be talking to you about the album in focus, which has dictated for us to look a little bit closer towards funk, soul, and that genre of music. But it does not mean we stay there entirely. So I do like to keep things changing, keep you guessing, keep it fresh for myself as well. We do have brand new music lined up next. We will be returning to There's a Riot Going On from 1971 and Sly and the Family Stone. We'll be telling you more about the Family Stone and also Sly. Why not? And that album in focus for this week. We'll also be telling you about other stuff and things like from yesterday's chip paper. Yesterday's chip papers is all about the old news stories, so we'll be providing some of those old headlines for you that we don't have to worry about as if they're current affairs, well, mainly because they're just not current affairs anymore. So we'll be talking about some of those things, some of the anniversaries that would have been celebrated this week. We will also be moving back to the charts of yesteryear. There is plenty of features to be had. For instance, We've Got You Covered, 2 for Friday, and many, many more bragging rights to be had. Excuse me, I'm not feeling very well. Anyway, Newcastle is where this next band hails from. They are a three-piece, and they are called The Pale White. The name of the song is Swim for Life. If we push on that button there, we should see a picture of Green Day and go, damn it, I put the wrong picture up. I'm going to sneak over. No, I can't really sneak over. I've already told you about it, haven't I? I'm going to pop over and change the picture, but I have tried to program all of the right buttons to work for this time. So it should have been that picture. So if you follow that picture on the Twitter feed, you will find a direct link to this band, as I have just tweeted out about them. The name of this song is Swim for Life. If you like it, then find your way through those breadcrumbs and find out more about them, as I'm usually pretty vague. I like to let the music do most of the talking. Here it is. Have a listen, see what you think.
For my life, for my life. When it all begins, we survive, we survive. Hold the tide, hold the tide. It's in my head, the world is mine. Hold the tide, hold the tide. It's in my head, the world is mine. Teach us how to grant a deep tide and get by. We live amongst the dead. What a time to be alive. When the barrel of the gun shoots organized fun, it splits the sides. So hold your sides, hold the tide. 'Cause in my head, the world is mine. Hold the tide, hold the tide. 'Cause in my head, the world is mine. But I'm a true procrastinator. Got things to do. Gotta see a man about a dog. Got shit to shoot. I'm a criminal invader, and we're in pursuit. The depths you gotta go. The depths you gotta go to make things right. The depths you gotta go, the depths you gotta go to make things right. Teach me how to swim for my life, for my life. Hold the tide, hold the tide. 'Cause in my head, the world is mine. Hold the tide, hold the tide. 'Cause in my head, the world is mine.
So this band hails from Newcastle, and their name is The Pale White. If you want to see a picture of them, then there it is. There is the free piece there hanging in the corner. If you want to follow that picture to the Twitter feed, then you will find more information about them, as you can find your way to their official Twitter feed for the band. So that was a Swim for Your Life. So we'll have more brand new music later on in the show. We've also got, I should have had the next song keyed up. I had something I wanted to say. That's this button here. So if you remember, if I may cast your mind back, way back as far as 7 whole days. So 7 whole days ago, we were talking about the Halloween-inspired fight cons. What's going on here? Press the wrong button. The Halloween-inspired fight cons, which was the Boogeyman or the Boogie Monster. We were asking which do you prefer, although that's kind of a strange premise to ask because nobody really likes the Boogeyman or the Boogie Monster, really. A sad story. They don't have as many friends as you would hope they would. Maybe they'd leave everybody else alone. Anyway, we were asking between the icons who wins the fight, the fight cons. That's what we were asking. And I can announce now it was a draw. Nobody likes them. So yes, it's straight up and down. Nobody likes them. So there was nothing to split between them. But their names. So we will have a fight that's still planned for today's show. So we'll have a fight cons taken on by the computer itself, not controlled by humans. So we will not be getting our fingers dirty in that one in particular. Sorry, I'm also a little bit tired. It was a 24-hour stream yesterday that I was supporting, and I'm feeling a little bit rough from still. So it was all definitely well worth it, but I'm feeling a little bit worse for the wear on today's show. So we will be announcing the new runners and riders for this week's fight cons. Stay tuned for that. We've got a really good one. I believe it will spark quite a bit of debate. There is more news stories coming up as well, and we need to take our first retro ad break of today's show. So bear with me, and I will be right back. You lovely, lovely people.
Got any lemonade? He wants. Milk! Ugh! It's what Ian Rush drinks. Ian Rush? Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Nah, get off. Give me some. Get off.
Just look at them. They must be crackers. A double-decker bus could be right on top of them and they'd never even see it. Hey! You must be out of your tiny minds. When you cross the road, always use the green cross code. Keep your wits about you and keep looking and listening. Great. See you, girls. Take it from me. Be smart. Be safe.
We're there. Just couldn't find the right button for a second. Okay, so we're going to now move on to our the new way we're presenting yesterday's chip paper. Yes, smooth like that. So we need to push the right buttons. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So that's something I'm going to have to change. The camera is in the wrong place. Okay, we'll do something about that in very shortly. But I just wanted to show you that that's our new GIF, which should actually be playing all the way through. And yeah, anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. The Pathé News is the inspiration. Anyway. We're looking back, way back to probably one of the very first editions of Pathé News, but way back into 414 years ago. It was big news. It still kind of is big news, as it's still making big noise all the way up until every November, in my opinion. Not just in my opinion, actual fact. 414 years ago, Guy Fawkes was arrested whilst he was underneath the Houses of Parliament. November 1605. Guy Fawkes, unlucky. We'll be having you away. There you go. So he was away on his trotters, but we also have a picture which I'm forgetting to press play on. That's our gifts. So the Guy Fawkes mask was meant to be the inspiration there. It's not quite the right size to fill the box, but we can tweak that. with future shows down the road. So this is the way that we're going to be presenting the next news stories that are coming up on today's show. Yeah, there you go. Gives you an idea. We'll be back with our album in focus after we've heard The Night from Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. If I turn this one off.
Beware of his promise. Believe what I say before I go forever. Be sure of what you say. So he paints a winning picture, and it tells you that he needs you, and he covers you with flowers, and he always keeps you dreaming. If he always keeps you dreaming, you won't have a lonely hour. If a day could last forever, you might like your ivory tower. Of the night begins to turn your head around, and you know you're gonna lose more than you found. Yes, the night begins to turn your head around. Beware of his promise. Believe what I say before I go forever. Be sure of what you say, for the words may come too easy if you don't believe I'm leaving, and goodbye may come too quickly if you really think he loves you. If you really think he loves you, you would give your love so sweetly. If the day could last forever, you would fall in love completely. But the night begins to turn your head around, and you know you're gonna lose more than you found. Yes, the night begins to turn your head around. And the night begins to turn your head around, and you know you're gonna lose more than
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons with The Night. Very much a Grease kind of vibe to that, as because it's quite late in their career. So I just wanted to point that out. We're going to move to the album in focus, and with the album in focus, I should have had the music lined back up. I almost did, but I don't have the voice to talk over it, so I'm going to leave that one alone for the moment. But the album in focus is from 1971. It is the studio album from Sly and the Family Stone that we were talking about on Wednesday's show. I am just digging out the information to provide you precise facts. This is a 5 out of 5 star album. It has received very many acclaims. At the time, it got mixed reviews, as the band had changed very much the style from the last recorded album. So it was the title is in response to Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," which was released 6 months previous and was a smash hit, and also a controversial album release for Marvin with his record company as well as critics. So a very closely related two albums. So what's going on? There's a riot going on. The title of today's album in focus, or this week's album in focus. We have spoken on Wednesday about the guest appearances on this album from Bobby Womack as well as Billy Preston and Ike Turner. Ike Turner as well. Yeah, I think I stumbled over that when we were talking about that on Wednesday's show. But this album was pretty much a tour de force for Sly Stone himself, as his drug abuse of the time, his drug of choice of the time, was pretty much causing him to cause a bit of a riot in the studio. So he was really putting people to task to get this record recorded. So that's why it was another reason why it put a little bit of noses out of joint at the time in the studios. It was a family affair that we're going to be moving to. It's the biggest song from the album, so much so that the album cover, which we've got on that button, maybe? No, we've got the band. That's the band I should have been pointing out. That's the band. There they all are, a mixed bunch. And we've got the album cover. And on the album cover, you will see that there are suns instead of stars on place of the American flag. So there was no other writing on the front of the album cover, so hence it caused the record company and the record stores to put a little sticker on the front saying that this album contains It's a Family Affair. So Family Affair, its biggest single released from the album in focus for this week, which is There's a Riot Going On, from Sly and the Family Stone from back in 1971. A very excellent album that either you should have in your collection or you should add it. It's just simple as that. Here it is.
Child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and mom. Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, no bad. What no bad. Still checking each other out. Hey, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave cause your heart is there. But you can't stay cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, yeah, family affair.
An excellent album and an excellent track, I'm sure you'll agree. This was the album in focus for this week, Sly and the Family Stones, There's a Riot Going On, from 1971, and hopefully in your album collection, or soon to be. We're going to move on to Baby Huey. That's going to be the artist behind our next song with Hard Times. We've got some more brand new music lined up on today's show. We've got some more news stories to tell you about, and we may even break out the Spark Train, at least to give it another test. So that might be something that you can look forward to on today's show, as it's something that isn't seen anywhere else. It is a very unique Spark Train, in my opinion. I'm trying to build it so that it gives a place for Sparks, in particular for these kinds of shows. So, there we are. That's the idea behind it. We move to Hard Times, but before we quite get there, I want to point out that there are many huge connections to be had via the band of Sly and the Family Stone, and we were talking about Larry Graham, the bassist of Sly and the Family Stone, who went on to Graham Central Station, and we were playing some of their music then. Also, Larry Graham taught Bootsy Collins how to play the bass as well. So there's quite a lot of links to be had from there. You can move all the way to Groove is in the Heart from D-Light. There is that D-Light? Yeah, I think it is. Yes, it is D-Light. Just some sudden reason, just messed up their name with another group. A bad group, a very bad group indeed. I'm not even going to say their name. We're going to move on to Hard Times. Here's Baby Huey.
Cold, cold eyes upon me, they stare. People all around me, and they're all in fear. They don't seem to want me, but they won't admit I must be some kind of creature if they're having fears. From my body house, I'm afraid to come outside. Although I'm filled with love, I'm afraid they'll hurt my pride. So I play the part I feel they want of me, and I pull the shade so I won't see them seeing me. Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times, there's no love to be found. Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times, there's no love to be found. From my body house, I feel like me another familiar face of creed and a race, a brother. But to my surprise, I find a man corrupt. Although he be my brother, he wants to hold me up. Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times, there's no love to be found. Having hard times in this crazy town. Having hard times, there's no love to be found. So many hard times, sleeping on motel floors, knocking on my brother's door, eating spam and Oreos and drinking Thunderbird, baby. In this crazy town, I'm having hard times. There's no love to be found. Having hard times. In this crazy town, I'm having hard times. There's no love to be found. I'm sick and tired of paying dues, baby. And I'm sick and tired of having so many hard times, baby.
Some hard times he's had. I know those hard times. I too have eaten spam. I know what it feels like, Baby Huey. I feel your pain. That was Baby Huey and the Babysitters with Hard Times, an excellent track that every time I play, I suppose if I was American, I would always point out that they talk about Oreos in that song as well. Just roughly around about the same time. But each time he says, sitting, eating spam, it just pops right into my head. I always end up having to talk about it at the end of playing that track. A great song from Baby Huey. We're going to move to something brand new, though, and we're going to push on that button. Yay! It's working! I like it. I like it. When things start to work, I like it. I've been putting a lot of effort into it, and to be honest with you, things went very tits up on Wednesday's Wednesday's online show. If you did not see it, there is the opportunity to watch it again. If you're here on the Mixer channel, which is the only place I think I'm streaming live today, if you're here on the Mixer channel, you can find it down below on the past streams from last Wednesday. We are talking to you about this brand new artist who is from somewhere on planet Earth. I'm going to narrow it down and then I'm going to hit play on the song. Liverpool. This is Liverpool's son whose name is Lewis Berry. The name of the song is Molly Malone, so a very Irish title to a Liverpudlian's song, but then there is a lot of Irish heritage in Liverpool as well. But if you want to find that picture on the Twitter feed at LJAY_TV, that will be the first port of call, or the first breadcrumb to find your way to the utopia of his music, certainly if you view it as such. But I'm not going to stand in his way any longer. Between him, me, and Molly Malone, it's going to get too confusing. Here's Molly Malone. Have a listen, see what you think.
Tell me something I don't know. I've been a fool for way too long, but I'm coming back for you. Take my hand and take me away. See, I've been trying to get myself straight, but I'm running back to you. Don't throw my life away. Deep in my heart, I'm amazed. Don't listen to your cry. I'll come running back to you tonight. Give me that green light, Molly Malone. I'll come running like I said I would. I don't wanna live a single day without you. And take me somewhere I don't know, somewhere I never been before. I don't wanna live a single day without you. I told the boys only yesterday how much I still miss you, babe. But I'm coming back for you. I told them everything that you said, but I don't want another argument. So I'm running back to you. Don't throw my life away. Deep in my heart, I'm amazed. Don't listen to your pride. I go running back to you tonight. Give me that green light, Molly Malone. I come running like I said I would. I don't wanna live a single day without you. Take me somewhere I don't know, somewhere I never been before. I don't wanna live a single day without you. Give me that green light, Molly Malone. I come running like I said I would. I don't wanna live a single day without you.
So that is the second instalment of the brand new music on today's show. And it's not just one word, although I do say it like it is. And that is the second instalment of today's brand new music on today's show. That is Lewis Berry with his song Molly Malone. If you want to find out more about that artist, then feel free to do so, as I'm usually quite vague about the artists behind the music, but I do encourage you to find out more about them, except for the ones that are well established or like the ones that are behind the album in focus. I'm trying to impart as much information as I can without bogging you down too much, especially remembering that after all, today is a Friday show. We want to G you up for whatever it is that the weekend is going to throw at you. I certainly wish that whatever it is, you're going to have a wonderful time. Here is another wish from Stevie Wonder.
Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy the day would bring. Sneaking out the back door, hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. Ooh. Really at the back door, but though I thought I told you
your alternative news for Friday the 8th of November. Mobile telephone users in America have been left stunned and confused that many text messages which were sent on Valentine's Day this year only arrived this morning. The mobile operator concerned has stated a maintenance error caused the problem. The delayed messages have brought joy as well as some embarrassment, as some couples have split up already. Let's hope not too many proposals went unanswered. Your weather today is not nice, as wet and cold weather is still with us, so put on your sweaters and bop to the rich sounds on today's episode of The Bridge, on LJTV.
Hey, it's already switched on. Excellent. I was just about to push that button. Okay. I've got to stop it at this point of the song, mainly because it always makes me think of the Love Boat. Anyway, I'm going to change up the song. I'll have this one instead. So, we're starting off the second hour of the show, or it's already been started by our robot overlords. The news has been at the top of the hour, exactly where you'd expect to find the news, and it is real news. We don't make it up for the show. We do make up the weather, but we also have a weather forecast that is available in the chat box. So if you're going, you know what, that was very funny, but I would like to know what the weather's like, well, just type it in. There is a way to find out in the chat box. Got you covered. Not only in the feature, but we've also got you covered. That's what I mean. Or we got you the information so that you can get yourself covered in case you need like an umbrella. That suddenly popped into my mind. Right, what are we up to next? We're going to start today's second hour with a song, and that song will be from an artist who has recorded it in the past, and for posterity, for us to listen to it now in the future, or the present. Here we go. Sorry, I was still selecting it, I hadn't quite decided, and you know what I've lumped for? I've gone Chic. I've got a little Chic for you. The band, Chic. So we're going to hear Soup for One in just a moment. This is a very famous sample from this track as well. Then we'll be getting back to the charts of yesteryear. I've also got some news about some of the things that will be happening with the show. So in the third and final part of the show, in the Ask Me Anything segment of the show, we'll be telling you about what is happening to the entire channel. I'm changing to a new schedule, new timings, moving some of the features around, so making things a little bit easier for us all. It's okay, I still have that arm. It may look like it's been severed, but I won't do that for much longer. So, Soup for One to get us back on the road. But, of course, there is on this channel, there is Soup for All. There is no, I'm not dictating that there is no soup for you, for instance. move back over to the desk. Okay. That song is from Chic. It is Soup for One. It sounds a little bit strange as a Chic song because you're hearing Bernard, the bass player, singing the vocals. It also sounds a little bit like an advert. So if I was ever rich enough to have my own range of soups, I would call them Soup for One. LJ's Soup for One. You never know, I might even make that into a feature on the show. But that is one of my favourite songs from Chic. And it has been sampled for Lady Can You Hear Me Tonight, or wherever it was, the proper title was, which was back in 2000, and it was Modo, or something like that. Somewhere along those lines. Running from my memory, at least, anyway. But that is the original, and of course, the supremely best version of that song. Love that track. It's just so not great. It makes it great. I'm trying to be polite. We're going to move back in time, way back to 1974 this time. I said it in the first hour. I meant to say it in the second, but it was a bit of a flash forward. There we are. Pilot is the band I was introducing their year when I was talking about the other band, the Pointer Sisters, in the first hour. But Pilot were brand new into this week's chart of 1974 with their song entitled Magic. Just in at number 40. Excuse me. I could have done that before I hit unmute. I didn't. I saved it just for you. No, not you. You. Yeah. We got there in the end. Okay, so what are we talking about? That was Magic from Pilot. They were brand new into this week's chart of 1974. In at number 40, it would peak out at number 11 in our UK charts. It was also inspired by around about 6 a.m. in the morning, Just thought I'd point out, 6 a.m. in the morning, in case you're thinking of the 6 a.m. at night. But 6 a.m. in the morning in the hills of Scotland, the sunrise inspired that song to be written by Pilot. Written and recorded eventually by Pilot. That is Magic. It was brand new into this week's chart, and it fulfills one of our features of the charts of yesteryears. Up next is a brand new song. From a brand new song from an artist whose name is Kim Gordon. We'll be posting up a tweet about her and a photograph that I will show you in a little while. We've also got news stories to tell you about, so there's plenty of stuff to get back to the news desk for. But this song is called Hungry Baby. Have a listen, see what you think. I'll tell you more about the artist in a moment.
Green sky above, blue earth below. 2020 is the blow. Out of sight, eyes all alone. You trip me out, lost is time. It's coming down. Don't look now, don't look now. It's just I found what you're looking for. Black wreath baby on mirror floor. Black wreath baby, spiral more. Hungry baby, you're out of time. Lay down your limbs, you'll feel fine. I'm just a man with grace and palm. Let's make music all day long, but not today. Some other time, touch your nipple, pretend you're mine. Hungry baby, hungry day, hungry baby, come my way. I'll take you in, I'll put you out. I'll tell you stories of what you got. Hungry baby, you're out of time. Lay down your limbs, you'll feel fine. I'm just a man with grace and palm. Let's make music all day long, but not today. Some other time, touch your nipple, pretend you're mine. Hungry baby, hungry day, hungry baby, come my way. Hold me tight, baby, pretend you're mine. Pretend you're mine, yeah, all the time. Touch your nipple.
So this is Hungry Baby. It is from Kim Gordon. Kim Gordon is one of the founding members of Sonic Youth, and she is from Rochdale, US of A. So if that narrows it down for you, I certainly hope it does. But if you want to find out more information about her, then I have tweeted a link directly to the official Twitter feed from her via mine. So if you make your way to the at LJAY_TV, you will find more information, a whole host of information about new artists, as well as just a sliver of information about myself too. So that was Hungry Baby. We're going to move from Hungry Baby to Breaking Glass in just a moment, as we're staying or trying to steer a little bit closer to funk rock before we move back into kind of funky kind of music. The album in focus inspires the genre of music that we tend to steer closest towards, not stay married to. We steer closest towards. That is the picture, so that should help you to find your way along. That's one of the breadcrumbs to help you find your way along. That's what I'm trying to say. Here is Breaking Glass. Very funky bass in this. Bowie definitely goes across many different genres. Bless his heart. I wasn't quite as ready as I was hoping I was. Alright, let's move back over to the desk. There we are. That was David Bowie with Breaking Glass. Did you love the sound of Breaking Glass? I certainly hope you did. But that isn't I love the sound of Breaking Glass. Just happened to be on the same album, I think. I think suddenly meant that I was unsure of myself. Anyway, on with the show. We've got some Rufus and Shaka Khan coming up next, and that will be a link to the We've Got You Covered for this week. As a matter of fact, the song that was covered will be it was covered by Rufus and Shaka Khan at one point. Yeah. The original artist is who we'll be hearing from after we hear from Rufus and Shaka Khan with Tell Me Something Good. So that's what we got coming up first. Then we're going to be moving on to We've Got You Covered. But in between that, this and there, we've got a retro vintage adverts to get through as well. So here is Something Good, I tells you. Or at least Rufus and Shaka Khan do. Some excellent noises in this song in particular. Sorry to be talking over it, Rufus and Shaka Khan, but this is Tell Me Something Good, and I had something good to tell you. So, we were talking about fight cons. There is still an option, or a chance, for a winner to be decided between the Boogeyman and the Boogie Monster. I'm sure there is people not rooting for either of them, as it was a draw for the first round. But I can announce which is best. Feel free to get involved in the debate. If you want to cast your vote as a secret ballot, then feel free to do so too. Or you can scream your opinions from the highest GIF on the chat box, whichever way you would like to get involved. So the question is, which is best, pop or bang? What do you prefer? Do you like a good pop? Maybe you prefer a good bang. I don't know. There's lots of debate to be had. Feel free to get involved in the chat. It's all about sparking debate. We will be returning to this debate throughout the next 7 days, and we will be announcing the winner of the first round in this fight this time next week. There is a second round to be had that happens in the third and final part of the show. We've got plenty to get on with. I can tell you that is something good.
Got any lemonade? He wants.
Something different is about to happen to ice cream. New Ice Magic from Birds. A rich, smooth, chocolatey topping like no other. In a moment, Ice Magic changes into a deliciously crisp, chocolatey coating. New Ice Magic from Birds.
It's too orangey for crows. It's just for me and my dog.
I'll be your dog. I'll be your dog.
Welcome back. There we are. Welcome back. I'm back there. You just couldn't quite hear me when I said it. So we are going to be posting that on Twitter in just a little while. That thing over there, we will be sending via the internet straight to your very home. But you can vote on FightCons, and we'll be posting that as a poll on Twitter. And then we'll be talking about it again this time in 7 days' time. Again, around about this time, when we'll be introducing you to the second part of FightCons. Right, we were listening to Tell Me Something Good from Rufus and Shaka Khan just a moment ago. That was something good indeed. Well, we move back to tell you a little bit about the 1984 cover from Rufus and Shaka Khan, which was I Feel For You. I Feel For You is not originally a Rufus and Shaka Khan, or a Shaka Khan song, actually, I should say, because she wasn't with Rufus at the time. Not in 1984, she wasn't. So we move back to the original, one that you don't often hear, and from the second studio album from Prince. It was originally released in 1979. I Feel For You is a Prince original. Here it is. I told you we've got you covered. Even if it is the original, we get you covered one way or another. Here it is. Super Funk. So cool. I still think I prefer the original to the Shaka Khan hit of 1984. That was from 1979, from the second studio album, the self-entitled album from the late great Prince. So, what have we got in store next? I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined me in chat. I can see the Devil's Son has popped into chat. He's had his shout out. He may be feeling worse for wear, so we might not get a word out of him in chat, but we certainly appreciate seeing his lovely name grace our screens. What have we got in store feature-wise? More brand new music. That was We've Got You Covered, so we've still got Two for Friday for you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you doing? How are you doing? Bless you. It's lovely to see your name in chat. We've got some more maybe rocky kind of music, more funk rock. As to be honest, the album in focus always dictates the kind of genre of music that we steer closest towards, but not wholly surrounded in. We also move towards other places to show that genres of music, or at least the artists behind the albums in focus, can inspire artists from across the globe. After all, music is like that. Music, we all connected by a particular rhythm. Anyway, up next, we've got something funky, and if you don't like it, then you'll have to get the funk out. Here is Extreme. That was a bit of extreme, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. That was extreme. With Get the Funk Out. That song makes me think of Chic, which makes me think of Studio 54, because when Chic were not allowed to go to Studio 54, they wrote a song that had funk in the lyrics when they had substituted it for another four-letter word. as they were upset that they did not get allowed entry for the New Year's party into Studio 54. It's a strange link to have, but it certainly is the link that pops off in my head. So there is many links to the album in focus and the band in focus, Sly and Family Stone. We were talking about Larry Graham, the bassist extraordinaire, who also went on to start his own band, Graham Central Station, which we were playing music from them on Wednesday's show, where there isn't many bassists who isn't inspired by him. For instance, moving towards Bootsy Collins, who he taught how to play the bass, and then even from there, if you move a little bit closer towards more up to date and closer towards that music there that we're talking about, Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he plays a slap bass kind of style, which is Larry Graham's originated style. So that's where it all sort of comes together. It all links together, and it all is part of the beautiful tapestry of music. It's one of the reasons why I love music so much. Anyway, what are we up to next? We have some news. There we go, and I'm back with you. I just need to turn down our walk-in talking music, and I should have selected the next song we're moving to. We're going to be moving to a song from Harvey Mason in a moment, but we have a news story that I would like to tell you more information about, and this little creepy staff from the Addams Family is going to help us talk to you about yesterday's chip paper. So, 124 years ago, yes, 124 years ago, a man who I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess up his last name, but Wilhelm Rotag? I don't know. Anyway, this dude, first name Wilhelm, discovered X-rays whilst experimenting with electricity. We'll start again. Some bloke, 124 years ago, whilst experimenting with electricity in November of 1895, Wilhelm Roteg discovered X-rays. There we go. That was my attempt. That's why we have the hand over there. Is it Thing? I think it's Thing, isn't it? Thing is the hand. It is the cousin with the long hair. I shouldn't have pointed that out, probably. Okay, that was another news story. That was part of this week's old news. Just a bit. Thank you and welcome, new follower. Welcome to the membership. Get chatting in the chat and we'll get to know each other well. And I may even mess up the pronunciation of your name. I do apologise. That's one of the reasons why I swerve saying everyone's name as they join the membership. But I will certainly hope to get to know each other. We're going to be moving on to some more brand new music soon. But up next, we've got Till You Take My Love from Harvey Mason. We're getting all funk music for this week, at least anyway. We still have some rock coming up, some brand new music, as well as 2 for Friday. So we've got 2 for.
You've been teasing me for a long time. No matter what I try. and wondering where we'll finally get together and have this love affair. Darling, you won't know true love till you open your eyes. Let your feelings go and take my love. And till you take my love, I'll be waiting. Till you take my love, just anticipating. Till you take my love, I'll be saving. Till you take my love. Take my love and please. I can't hide the feeling that I feel deep inside. I will share with you all my love, and till you take my love, I'll be waiting. Till you take my love, still anticipating. Till you take my love, oh, I tell you I'm gonna be craving. Till you take my love, I'll be for you, baby. I'll be waiting. Till you take my love, just anticipating. Till you take my love.
We're currently listening to Harvey Mason with Till You Take My Love. This was from 1977 and something Mason Jar. Funk in a Mason Jar, I think, is the name of the album from 1977 from Harvey Mason. So, what are we up to next? We've got Two for Friday, that is coming up right now. We'll be moving on to two back-to-back songs that have some sort of logical link to them, but I'm not going to point it out beforehand. I'll wait for you to have some guesses. It's probably easier for you to wait for the second song. It makes it slightly more easier when you know what you're playing with. So you might want to make some guesses, see if you can pin these two songs together. We are going to start with, I'm going to tell you the entire name and artist behind this one, so I don't have to be too cryptic about it, I don't think. We're going to start off with Rick James and Give It To Me, Baby. We're going to start off with Rick James. Rick James's Give It To Me, Baby, and then we're going to be moving on to something else. There will be a direct link between these two songs, if I do say so myself. Stay tuned, I'll be pointing it out. And also, we'll be talking about bits and bobs, so I may also be talking over it. But there will be no interruption, there's no other music scheduled between these two songs, that kind of stuff. Without technical difficulties between it, I can't see there being any problem. Here is Give It To Me. Sorry, Give It To Me, Baby.
When I came home last night, you wouldn't make love to me. You went fast asleep. You wouldn't even talk to me. You say I'm so crazy. Coming home intoxicated. I say I just wanna love you. I just wanna love you, baby. Guess that's why I'm so elated. Come on, girl, give it to me, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. I bet you. I'll make you hot like you had enough. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Just give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. I bet you. I'll make you hot like you had enough. Give it to me. Give me that stuff, that funk, that sweet, that funky stuff. Give it to me. Give me that stuff, that funk, that sweet, that funky stuff. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me the funk, that sweet, funky stuff.
There is something about that "How Can I Love You" that always makes me think of Arsenio Hall dressed up in drag in Coming to America, where he, I think he ties a knot in a cherry stem. I may be wrong. But anyway, that's what pops into my head at least anyway. Maybe it's just my sick, depraved mind that tells me that. We're currently listening to Give It To Me from James, let me get it right. I've got it written down so I do get it right. James Ambrose Johnson Jr. Yeah, they didn't just do that to one person. Somebody lived their life when, you know what, that's such a great name. I'm going to give that name to my son. It's fucking stupid, isn't it? Anyway, we're currently listening to better known as Rick James. We're listening to Rick James with Give It To Me Baby. We've got another song coming up in just a couple of seconds, which will be forming our 2 for Friday. There is another link to be had. Can you see what it is already? Be a fucking miracle. So 80s. But that's because it was 1985 when this was recorded. That isn't the link. She likes to party all the time. So, there is a direct link to be had. This song was recorded in Rick James's house. He produced this song. He wrote this song, along with the artist who's also on this song. So it's not Rick James who sings this track, as you might tell. They're not quite as good as singing, as good as a singer as Rick James is. But then Eddie Murphy isn't famous for his vocals, is he? He's famous as a comedian. And this is pretty darn funny. Yes, it is. Rick James and Eddie Murphy on this song, and we heard a moment ago, we heard from Rick James by himself. So the link for this week, believe it or not, is Rick James via Eddie Murphy, and yeah, that's our link for this week. It's just it's an unbelievable one. I just think it's such a wonderful one. I love pulling that one out of bed because a lot of people have no idea that Eddie Murphy did that. But let me tell you more about it. That song was released in 1985 and was, believe it or not, a hit. It was a hit for Eddie Murphy. It would peak in the United States, so the big charts of the United States, at number 2. Yeah, number 2 on the fucking charts for Eddie Murphy and Rick James. So no wonder it was a good idea for them to be doing it. So the other thing I want to point out is there is another song by Lionel Richie, which I'm not a big fan of. Say You, Say Me. You know, it's a bit... It's kind of a bit pathetic. Definitely for Lionel Richie with the discography that he gets to brag about. Well... the thing I want to point out about that Say You, Say Me is that we can thank that song in particular for keeping Eddie Murphy and Rick James off the top number 1 spot with Party All the Time. That song that we've just heard. All right, we're going to move to something brand new. We've got to finish off this first hour, and then we've got plenty to get around to in the second hour. Also, lots to tell you about what's happening on this show. I love you so much for joining me here on today's channel. Let's get on with it. This next track is from well-established rock band Green Day. I will tell you more in a moment. Here is Fire, Ready, Aim. So from East Bay, California, that is Green Day. I nearly said Green Bay. That is Green Day with Fire, Ready, Aim. And in my opinion, what was the band that I was just thinking of? I wanted to say that they sounded a little bit like... White Stripes. That was what I wanted to say. I think it's got a little bit of the White Stripes about it. Maybe it's just my opinion, but it certainly sounds like it could have been produced by Jack White himself. We're going to take a break on this moment on the end of the second hour. Let me get it right this time around. It's the end of the second hour, but there is always a third and final segment to enjoy of this particular orange that we call The Bridge on a Friday show. So we'll be back in a minute with after the news and weather at the top of the hour. So stay tuned. I've got lots of things to tell you about, and I'm sure you'll be fascinated. If you're not sure, then stay tuned. I shall try my darndest to prove it.
Alternative news for Friday, the 8th of November. Mobile telephone users in America have been left stunned and confused that many text messages which were sent on Valentine's Day this year only arrived this morning. The mobile operator concerned has stated a maintenance error caused the problem. The delayed messages have brought joy as well as some embarrassment, as some couples have split up already. Let's hope not too many proposals went unanswered. Your weather today is not nice, as wet and cold weather is still with us, so put on your sweaters and bop to the rich sounds on today's episode of The Bridge, on LJTV.
Okay, I'm back with you, lovely, lovely people. I should be on that screen maybe instead. Okay, let me turn it down a little bit as well. Okay, we're into the final segment of today's show. Anything that we haven't got around to feature-wise on a Friday show must be addressed in this final part. Otherwise, well, until I finish. That's basically my finishing time. Is, have you got everything done? Well, you've played a lot of the set list. Okay, well you can go now. More or less. So we've got a song keyed up to start off this third segment of the show, and it is from Wild Cherry. You can probably guess if you're already a Wild Cherry fan. Considering we're playing a lot of funky music on today's show, you can probably guess what song we're going to play. What have we got in store? I've got no more brand new music, because we've already heard all of that on today's show. We will have some more brand new music on Wednesday's show. We still have some news stories to be telling you about, and I've got some announcements, some things that I've been working towards behind the scenes. It's one of the main reasons why I've had my head so firmly placed up my arse, which is why I've not been fully on board with everything that's going on. I missed one of the starts of today's shows already, and also Wednesdays. Had a huge amount of technical issues there, so yeah, I've been trying to get everything back in line, and I'll be telling you about that on today's third and final part of the show. So it's a little bit unplanned. Who knows when we'll finish, who knows what we'll be talking about precisely, but I have a sort of an idea. There we go. There we go. That's the colours on our palette for this last segment. We're going to start off this finishing segment with Play That Funky Music. Wild Cherry. That seems like a good time to come back and chat to you lovely people. Alright, over there behind me at the moment, you will see the front cover of, or the cover picture for Fight Cons for this week. This week we are asking the very important debate question of which is best, pop or bang? And I don't mean like soda pop, and I don't mean, I don't know, something else. Banger racing, here we go. That was a quick grab. I don't mean those things, I just mean pop or bang, whatever they mean to you. Literally, whatever they mean to you. That's kind of the premise behind it. So whatever you want to get it, however you want to get involved, I have also just tweeted out the poll. So it is now available. You will find it on the Twitter feed. And if I do a little bit more rambling whilst I talk, I will just say I'm about to pin it to the top. Well, actually, I'm going to unpin the other thing. Let's unpin that, and then it's just at the very top. There you go. The very top of my Twitter feed, if you want to find out pop or bang, you choose, and we will let it come to blows. We are that serious about these subjects. They may seem very innocuous, but in my opinion, they are so important that it should come to blows for it. You know, blood should be spilt for these subjects, in a virtual sense, of course. You know, I'm saying we're going to have the computer fighting against the computer on a computer game. So not real blood. That's the premise behind it anyway. We're going to move back to the charts of yesteryear for our next song. Second song of the segment of the show. So usually we try to go back to the charts of yesteryear. We don't always manage it. It might have something to do with yesteryear's music. Anyway. This week of 1984 saw a famous bassist, or a famous band with a famous bassist who had his hands were actually insured for over £1 million, I think, and this is way back in like the 80s when that was like a lot of money. So Heaven 17, this is Mine, is the song we're going to go for. This is I'm thinking of a different artist. Anyway, This Is Mine is the song we're going to go with. I might be getting confused a little bit, but it's been a long day. I've just remembered why it is I wasn't sure about that fact. I'll tell you why. Now, this was brand new into the charts of way back when, but it's not level 42, which for some reason I always mix up with Heaven 17. Both bands from the 80s, but because it's a word and numbers, my dyslexia goes, ooh, I like to mess those around, so yeah, I'm not talking about the right band, but fuck it. You know what I mean. Things and stuff, but not necessarily in that order. Maybe.
take it one by one. We've got the feeling, each of us is not believing now. You can have it all, I don't need it, I don't need it. Tell them this is mine, tell them this is wanting is no crime, happens all the time. When it gets you down, rise and leave it, rise and leave it. Tell them this is mine.
Heaven 17 with Tell Them This Is Mine. Actually, no, it's just This Is Mine. This is why I always mess up the title as well. I'm telling you, Heaven 17 and me, we don't get on. We just don't get on. As much as I tap my foot and sing along, I don't get along. We're going to be moving to Chuck Wood in just a moment. But how much Chuck Wood can we chuck before Chuck Wood... I don't know, I'm kind of getting confused now. We have a few more features to get through, a few more news stories to talk to you about, and there is also a few things to highlight. So I've got some changes coming up on the channel. I will be changing the panels below to represent the information I'm going to be passing on to you very shortly. But yes, a little bit lackluster on today's show because of a 24-hour stream from yesterday that I was happy to support, but feeling a little bit worse for wear on today's show. So hopefully I will be, in 7 days time, I will be back to my upbeat self for a Friday show, at least anyway. What else have we got in store? There is something else that I wanted to think about and make sure I remembered saying, because then it will remind me to do it later on in the show. Oh, the retro adverts. We've got some more retro adverts still to come as well, so I've got another set of those to play for you too. Here is 7 Days Too Long. Chuck Wood.
First time I called you, girl, they say you wasn't home. And the second time I tried it, they say you want to be left alone. We had a lover's quarrel, yes we did, like all others do. I'm ready to make up. It's all up to you now, 'cause 7 days is too long without you, baby. Come on back to me now. 7 days is too long, girl, without you, baby. Come on back to me. I refuse to break up because of a lie. 'Cause our love is too strong, girl. Yes, it is. So let it down. Let's solve this problem. 'Cause I see the danger sign, you know. It's written on your face. Just as well as mine. 'Cause 7 days is too long, girl, without you, baby. Come on back to me now. 7 days is too long without you, baby. Come on back to me. Let's stop playing, girl. I can go sit. I can't stand being without you, baby. No, I can't. Another week. You got me so. I can't even concentrate. You know, good things come. I say good things come to those who wait. But I can't wait no longer. Listen to me, baby, because 7 days is too long now without you, baby. Come on back to me. 7 days is too long without you, baby. Come on back to me. I love you, it's too long in your body, honey. Without 7 days is too long without you, girl.
So, we've got another news story to tell you about. Let's push the news button and we shall have some information on that side that gives us an idea of what it is we're talking about in GIF form. So, always trying to add a little bit more to the show. This time we are telling you about the news story that would have been big news, especially for certain people concerned. 84 years ago, so November of 1935, the game Monopoly went on sale. The very first Monopoly game, for the first time Monopoly went on sale, is what I'm saying, 84 years ago. So just next year they'll be celebrating a big anniversary indeed. So 84 years ago for the so young but still worth arguing over Monopoly. We've got another news story to provide for you, and this GIF says here, if you can't read it, after you lose, what do you do after you lose playing Monopoly after 5 hours? I think that's what that is. Okay, we're moving on with the show. I have a few new features, and we've also got a fight con that needs to take place, which I'm not quite as ready for as I was hoping. So, we're going to move to Ride Your Pony. Actually, do you know what? Yes, that's okay. We're going to move to Ride Your Pony, which is from Betty Harris. This is our next song, and we will hopefully load up the fight for fight cons as well. So stay tuned, and we'll find out more what's going to happen. I'm not entirely sure myself. And I'm back with you. I do apologise, we have lost the music sound, but it is actually still with us. I'm actually listening to it at the moment. I mean, that doesn't help you at the moment, I know that. I'm going to jump back, we're going to pause it for a second, and hopefully we'll get it kicking in properly. And the reason I'm surprised that it is not working is mainly because I've only plugged something in. I haven't even turned it on yet, so a little bit strange. So hopefully we've got the sound back. There we go. That is Betty Harris back once again. We're going to be moving on to some cameo in just a second. So that was the two parts of Betty Harris's Ride Your Pony. Most people don't get to experience them in the original intended fashion, where you get to enjoy the first part. Suddenly, at some point, the music will completely disappear, and then you get the last morsel back. See, it's like an aftertaste. That's the way it was intended to be enjoyed. You believe that, you'll believe anything. What else have we got in store? We've got a Fight Cons happening. I've got another news story to be telling you about. And as I promised a moment ago, we're going to play some Cameo. Word Up, we're playing Cameo. Boy! But we're not playing Word Up. Son! We're playing Shake Your Pants. Which means something very different over here.
You know that I just can't do without you. When we get down, we always turn the place out. So shake your pants and you can get a thing off. Feel with me, touch with me, let them see, yes with me. Ooh, yeah.
I like it tonight, 'cause that's when my body feels just right. Don't stop me, nah, just watch me, and I'll show you how.
Be a freak, gonna move, and we can move all night.
'Cause that's when my body feels just right.
Work your body with my body, and we'll sexolate till the time is right. Yeah.
And I'll show you how.
Go with the flow, and I'll let you know just how to move.
'Cause that's when my body feels just right.
Shake your pants, and let the vibes come through.
Just watch me, and I'll show you how.
Shake your pants, I like the way we dance. Shake your pants, shake. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Sassoon, Jordache, even Gloria Vanderbilt. When I shake my pants, you know I'm dressed to kill. I can't hear the dance, and I don't mess around. So take your chances out here if you win. Feel with me, touch with me, let me see. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I like it tonight, 'cause that's when my body feels just right. Don't stop me, nah, just watch me, and I'll show you how.
Be a freak with a move, and we can move all night.
'Cause that's when my body feels just right.
Work your body with my body, and we'll sexolate till the time is right. Yeah.
I'll show you how.
Go with the flow, and I'll let you
be kicking. But I am with you. I am with you, lovely people. We're currently listening to Cameo and Shake Your Pants. We've got 8 fight cons to address. So, normally over there you will see the magazine cover in that box there. Well, if we take it away, that was for next week's fight cons. Pop or bang, you choose. Still available to vote. First round is still taking place for that, or has just started for that fight cons for this week. But last week we were talking about the Boogeyman or the Boogie Monster inspired by Halloween. Well, it was too close of a race to be decided. We don't know. It's a draw. Or at least the first round was a draw. We now have the options available. These are the 2 fighters. We're going to be... I've just picked them out of the hat. We picked these 2 fighters. We'll tell you more about them in a second. And we'll also decide who's going to be representing who. And then we'll get the fight underway. And we'll be playing some more excellent music along with the visuals. So we won't be hearing punching noises or anything like that. All the commentators, they're all switched off at the moment. So this is the second round of fight cons, and these guys will be representing the Boogeyman and Boogie Monster respectively. We are moving to Faith No More. Faith No More's song that we've got keyed up next is Epic. It is epic. It is so epic. It is so epic that they called it Epic. There you go, here's proof. Okay, that's not working. So, I'm going to talk to you about what we've got here. So, we've got 2 fighters. We've got Leonardo Santos, who is from Brazil. He has no nickname. Unfortunately, I cannot provide you with that information right now, but I do know that our other fighter has a nickname. He is this fighter, Leonardo, is a orthodox stance. He is from Rio de Janeiro, and he will be representing the Boogeyman. There we are. I've just decided, and we're gonna have. So the Boogeyman is in the red corner, and the Boogie Monster is in the blue corner, being represented by Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is the Phantom, the Motown Phantom, apparently. He is also orthodox fighter stance style from the hometown of Detroit, the USA. Fights out of Las Vegas, apparently. But, you know, If you're in a corner, you fight out of whichever corner you've been put in, I suppose. So this is going to be the fighters. I'm going to bring the cursor back to the middle so you can see, look, I am not going to be in control of either of them. And it's going, are you sure? You won't be able to control them, you know. Yeah, I know. That's what I want to do. So yes, he can wear some shorts and so can he. We don't want to see their wieners. And I need to check. I can't quite read that from here. Yeah, that'll do. Sure. Just fight. Fight, 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 fight. Alright, music. Currently have an issue there. Let's move that. Didn't see nothing. Avert your eyes. Avert your eyes. That is the behind stage that should be staying behind stage. Okay, so this is going to be epic, hopefully, too. These guys are representing the Boogeyman and the Boogie Monster. Here is the Boogeyman coming in, I believe. In the red corner is the Boogeyman, and in the blue corner is the Boogie Monster. And that's how these are the people who are representing last week's fight cons. So for the second round, that's what's happening. I was going to say something. In the future, we will be having maybe betting happening in chat as well. So there will be other elements happening with the fight cons, which is why we're sticking with it, and we've got more ideas coming forward. But I'm not going to be in the way of the camera, in the way of the action for too long. Let's turn that off. Some more music for you. This is the Fine Young Cannibals with Good Thing. Look at him dancing along to the Fine Young Cannibals. They all like the Fine Young Cannibals. Oh, I'm quite proud of myself for playing it now. So I've got lots to tell you about. This will be a good time for me to let you know. We'll be talking over some of the music and some of the action at the same time. You know, I'm giving you so much on the channel. So this is one of the things we've added into the channel recently. Each and every Friday we have some sort of fight cons actually taking place with a bout or a competition or something like that. We may even have football in the future, so it doesn't literally have to come to blows. But that's kind of the idea behind it, the whole premise behind it anyway. 1 second. I am going to be changing the entire schedule, and the fight is off. It's just starting now. So yes, on the left-hand side of your screen is the Boogeyman, and on the right-hand side of your screen is the Boogie Monster. That's who they're representing, at least anyway. So I have changed one of the major things on this show, and that is that the starting times, all of the starting times, will be in line with each other now. So, any of the days you see below, which says I am streaming, I will be streaming from live from 5. 5 o'clock is the time we start. And it's over. The FightCons is over. Is that it? Done. That was so quick. Blink and you miss it. It was a submission. Although I think he might have broke his arm. I think that may be a break. What? Let's see. That looks like a snap. Well, it looks like the Boogeyman wins. Man is the most dangerous predator, isn't it? So, that was FightCons for this week. Bam! That was quick. So quick. I'm just waiting for the camera to kick back in. Here we are. We're back with you. So, we have our winner. I'm going to raise his hand. Ah, damn. It's me. It's me. I'm the winner. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Wave to my adoring fans. Thank you. Right, I'm taking the piss now. We're currently listening to Primus with Chum and a Cat. And I know it's probably something you don't want me to talk over. Anyway, that was FightCons for this week. And it would seem that the Boogeyman reigns supreme over whatever monster you may imagine in your wardrobe. But we've got a couple of songs left on the show, and I'm trying to tell you a few things about what's happening with me. So that's the reason why we're talking over Primus. Sorry about that. Yes, the new starting times is UK-based starting times, and it's live at 5. Every day that I stream will be live at 5. So, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays as well. So they will all be live at 5. So if you're wondering whichever time that is for you, you might want to substitute that number in place for the 5. But live at that time each time you want to think of me. I'll also have some ideas of what it is that's going to be happening on those particular days. So I have a schedule that I will be announcing and rolling out over the next week. I've been working quite hard on this, so hopefully it's all gonna fall into place perfectly. That's kind of the whole idea behind it. A few other things that I'm trying to remember. We're going to play some Primus, and I'll give myself time. That's much better. I've shut down that now. We're doing alright. Say a bit. Yes, I know this is probably one of your favourite bits. Sorry. Wouldn't want. I missed some of that. I do apologise. We're just getting ready to finish up today's show. I will catch up with what you're just saying in chat there in a second, and I will address it. I wanted to point out some of the things that we're going to be up to on the stream. That's one of the things I want to point out. So Monday Madness will be staying as Monday Madness, as mad as it ever has been. But also, we will be introducing a whole element of open lobbies. Monday will be my open lobbies day. So that gives you an idea of what you can expect happening on Mondays. On a Thursday, we will be staying true to the Throwback Thursday. So for the very first hour of the show, we will definitely be playing a retrospective from the Wednesday show, so that isn't changing. But there is still some other elements that are still coming in, and we'll also be changing up some bits and bobs. So there will always be an opportunity each and every week to play with me on the channel if you wish, and that will be on a Monday Madness. You never know. On a whim, I could change things. I may stream on those days that I don't stream, on the Tuesdays or on the Saturdays. But that would be on a whim, and you would have to pay close attention to the Twitter feed to find out more. I'm also trying to make a concerted push in the right area when it comes to Discord. So I really want to push in that area, and I really want to hopefully integrate it more with the stream, so that if somebody was talking in Discord, that it would pop up on the screen at the same time. So that's another thing that I'm going to try and work towards, and something I really want to make some headway in. I really want to finally get some distance on that. It's just I'm so afraid of Discord, and I don't know why. I can't explain why. So I'm going to keep on trying. We're going to finish off today's show with Sister Midnight, but Sister Midnight from Iggy Pop will be playing, and we'll be looking for a host destination. That is always the plan at the end of the show, no matter which show it is. But from now on, you will find me starting at the times of 5, live at 5. Iggy Pop up next, Sister Midnight, and then I'll tell you where we're going. I'll also try and catch up with what you lovely people were just saying in chat there as well. Here it is.
Calling Sister Midnight, you got me reaching for the moon. Calling Sister Midnight, you got me playing the fool.
Okay, so let's turn down Iggy. Sister Midnight from Iggy Pop is the last song on today's set list. Bless your hearts and your socks and everything in between. Thank you so much for joining me for today's show. I'm sorry it's been a little bit low on energy, not my intention. My brain isn't really quite in gear, but I think I get a decent pat on the back from myself for managing to impart some of this information, as my brain's a little bit fried. We're going to be moving forward with the show, as moving backwards is impossible, I think. I suppose it may be worth a try. Let's try and move... No, fuck it. Let's just carry on with what we're doing. The Stanley Parable, that is what VTech Insomniac is currently streaming. He has 16 viewers over there on his channel. And Hi, I'm Stan is the name of the stream. So we're going to go over and visit VTech Insomniac and pay back all of his wonderful support. This wonderful streamer, if you're not already following him, then please jump on his follow list so long as you're enjoying the content. I'm just going to move over to the credits and then I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves. Until we meet again, do be lucky. Or at the very least, be careful.